everybody. This is Richboywayne, aka Wayne Woodson, aka the Specialist of Opportunity. Today we're going to be taking a look at an article. Actually, we're going to do our channel's first review. And the name of this article is titled, How I Saved $100,000 in 3 years. Now, in order to save $100,000 in 3 years, that means you would have had to have saved $33,333.33. Yeah, I know, I'm a savant. Don't worry about it. And that's pretty interesting. I don't know too many people that can do that. So I want to see how she did it. I'm really interested to see how she did it. And of course, you know, as always on this channel, if you are interested in learning or having me review topics like this, go ahead and drop me a message. Shoot me a message and I'll get on it. But today we're going to take a look at this, and like I said, I'm interested to see how she did it, and of course what I find I want to share with you guys so that you can go out and do it, so that we can all go out and do it. So let's go ahead and dive into this article and see what she's talking about here. How I saved $100,000 in 3 years. Alright, let's go ahead and dive into this. This is an article by a website that I've never heard of before, called The Cut, entitled How I Saved $100,000 in 3 years. Alright, it says, when she was right out of college, Tori Dunlap, a digital marketing manager based in Seattle, set an extreme goal for herself. She wanted to save $100,000 in 3 years. By the time she was 25, she recently hit that number a year ahead of schedule. So how did she actually do it and still manage to lead a semi-normal life as a 20-something in a major city? I hate when people say 20-something. This is just one of those words that I just don't like. Same thing with millennial. I don't like the word millennial. I'm not a millennial. I'm not a flower. It certainly helped that she graduated from college debt-free, which gave her a big leg up. Now, I will say that graduating college debt-free is hard for some people. I know that when I went to college, I paid for half of my college, and the other half was paid for by student loans. Excuse me, not student loans, but financial aid. And I tried to avoid taking out student loans if at all possible. And the first time I went to college, I actually managed to not take out student loans. So I paid for it through financial aid, through a scholarship, and then the other half I paid for out of my own pocket because I was working a job at a warehouse that really was horrible. But I did what I had to do, you know. So that's not hard to do, okay? Now, obviously, if you go to Harvard or Yale or, you know, MIT, then it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do that. But for the average person, going to a regular college is not that difficult. And I just want to add this in here, because I know a lot of people are going to say, well, she had an advantage because she went to college debt free. Her parents probably paid for it. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But the argument here is that she was able to pay for it debt free. So if she can do it, you can do it. You may have to work a side job on the side, you know, which going to school and working full time is horrible. I know, I've done it, but it's certainly doable. Let's move on. She also made extra money from a side business. Ooh, she spun out of her savings strategy. Now, it doesn't say what the side business is. I think that would have been beneficial if she maybe said what she did as a side business. I don't know. Her first $100,000. Tori admits that she's an outlier. 2/3 of U.S. college. Yeah, we don't care about that part. You know, we know the statistics. We know what they are. Nobody really cares about that. What we want to know in this article is how she did it. That's what we want to know. What made you decide that you were going to try to save $100,000 by the time she was 25? And she started, by the way, at age 22. Okay, so it goes on to say, when I was 22, I read an article about a 25-year-old who had saved up $100,000. At the time, I was making $55,000 in my first job out of college, which is actually pretty good. A lot of people get discouraged when they're not making $100,000 out of college. I got a useless degree. I only make $55,000. That's not bad. Straight out of college, you're probably not gonna make $60,000 out of college. Because you don't have experience. So a lot of people get discouraged about that, but that's not really something to get discouraged about. It's actually pretty good. I wasn't making that at 22, so I'm just saying. Anyway, moving on. So I crunched the numbers and was like, okay, if I hunker down, I think I can do that too. I was raised to be serious about money, about saving money. When you have control of your money, you have the freedom to leave a relationship you don't want to be in or quit a job you hate. Amen. Amen. Let's give her a round of applause for that. Because you never hear anybody say that, and I say that all the time, and I'm going to continue to say that on this channel and beat it into people's heads that when you have money saved up in your account, you can walk off your job tomorrow. Bruh, it is the most liberating thing ever when you have money saved up. And the goal, in case you didn't know this, the goal is to have at least 3 months expenses saved up into your bank account. Preferably a money market account or, some other interest-bearing account, maybe even a CD, like a 3-month CD or something like that. Something, to where if something happens and you have to quit your job or you get hurt or something, you have cash reserves to fall back on. Or maybe you just want to try for another job. A lot of people right now are stuck because they don't have they don't have anything saved up. So if they want to quit their job, they can't. So they're trapped. And I know I've been trapped before. Now in my case, I was laid off. But at the time I was kind of upset about that. But it really turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Because I was able to leave a job that was very, very demanding. But in my case, I was able to get out of it. You may not be able to. So you may want to just go ahead and start saving up some money. Saving up 3 months expenses. And then, one day, you just walk into your boss's office and say, hey there, Bob. You've been treating me like a jerk all these years. And I think I'm just going to walk out. On you. So, here's my 2 weeks notice. Deuces. And you walk out and slam the door as hard as you can behind you. Dude, that is a liberating feeling right there. That's probably the best feeling in the whole wide world. I'm going to be honest with you. That's probably better than any drug or any woman or anything. What am I talking about? This is a finance channel. The kids are watching this. What am I doing? I'm going crazy over here. All right, let's move on to the article. Okay, so moving right along here. We want to know how she did it. So let's scroll down here to see how she actually did it. Okay. So, how she actually did it. Right now, I am saving 27% of my paycheck. Now, eventually, what you want to do is you want to get to a point where you're saving half of your paycheck. And you're able to invest that half into investments like stocks, real estate, or businesses. Me personally, I prefer stocks. Starting out. And then eventually you want to get into real estate. But starting out, stocks. And even more particularly, you want to invest in index funds. Index funds. I am big on index funds. But, okay, let me continue. I'm going off on a tangent here. Okay, it's automated. Again, when you do this saving, you want to have it automated. You do not want to have to go in there and set it up and transfer money every single time, because that's going to you're going to forget. Life is going to happen, and you're going to forget to do it, and then you're just not going to do it. So it needs to be automated. If you can start out with $25 or $50 or even $100, preferably $100. But I know that everybody can't do that. So do what you can do. Moving on. It's automated, so I never even see it. That's the whole point. Alright. I gradually increased up to that number, and it gives me enough flexibility to do the things I want, while also hitting my savings goal. You gotta have a goal. You gotta have a goal. Otherwise, you're gonna find a way to spend that money. I've seen other people do it, so you gotta have a goal. You gotta have a goal. A realistic goal. Okay? Yeah, moving on. I'm going off on a tangent again. Okay, so most of the money is in the market. So she probably invests in index funds, like what I talked about. Let's see. I have a 6 to 8 month emergency fund. Way to go. That's really good. I know a lot of people can't do that much. The minimum that I recommend is 3 months, but she's doing 6, so that's great. 6 to 8. That is liquid. Okay, this is probably something that I don't agree with. Right? This is probably the only thing in this article that I disagree with. That is liquid. Okay. So, when you have $12,000 just sitting in an account, that's not really good. You need to put that money to work some type of way, either through a money market account or through some type of interest-bearing account that's going to give you something for putting that money in the account. I understand that she wants to remain liquid, which is fine, but at the same time, you're not really, that money could be doing something. Like, you could put that into a money market account, with TD Ameritrade, and it's still flexible, you're still liquid. If you need the money, you can withdraw it. Just don't make sure when you do that, you set it up as not a 401k or an IRA. Do not do that. I made the mistake of doing that one time, and I got hit with $50 for withdrawing my money. And I was like, man, what in the world is going on? Then I realized, oh, okay, I set it up as a IRA, and I should have just did it as a bank account. Anyway, the rest of it is invested in either a retirement account, probably a 401k, or a non-retirement brokerage account. I mostly invested in VTI. Okay, Vanguard's Exchange Traded Fund. Okay, that's a pretty decent one. I use Personal Capital. Way to go. I recommend Personal Capital as well. By the way, I'm going to include a link to Personal Capital in this description box. So if you're watching this video in the future, you can click on that. And I highly recommend it. I use it. I get emails every single month to track my net worth and my accounts. And it is great. So moving on. To track all of my savings, and I look at that balance every day. Okay, I don't recommend looking at your balance every day. I did do that when I first got it, but you become compulsive, excessive compulsive when you start doing that. Don't take it to that level. Look at it like at least every other day or every other week or something like that. You don't have to look at it every day, but I'm not really harping on that too much, because it's good to have good control over your money, but you don't want to be obsessive about it. What do you do when you really want to buy or spend money on something? So we really, from what I can tell from this article here, I'm just scrolling through here, because we don't really care about any of this other stuff. Alright, so the main thing to this is that she set a goal and she increased it. She doesn't really say how she was able to, cut back on everything. Like, did she just cut back on food or travel, or, I guess it explains that here. Yeah, what do you do when you really want to buy or spend money on something? I used to struggle with spending money in general. I would tell myself no all the time. I didn't want to go out to eat because I was used to the mindset of why would you want to spend money at a restaurant if you have food at home? Yeah, I know. I've been there too. Man, I really hate leftovers, so I really hate leftovers. I would love to have mentally. I would have. I don't know what that says. Anyway, eventually I realized it's worth it to spend money on certain priorities as opposed to trying to spend money as little as possible. Okay, so basically, she plans out if she's going to spend large amounts of money, which is good. Alright, so this is what I want to see right here. I live alone, which I love, and I pay $14.50 a month in rents. That is a little high. Where does she live at again? Doesn't say. I saw New York in here somewhere. I doubt she lives in New York, though. On that. You know. I don't really know where she lives at. That's seems like a little high to me, though. If she's living in like a medium-sized city, by the way, I live in Nashville, and that's a medium-sized city, and there is no way in hell I would pay $14.50 for a one-bedroom apartment. That is not going to happen ever, ever, ever. Do you understand what I'm saying? Ever. I will live in a cardboard box before I go pay $14.50 for a house. Because that's money right there that you could be saving up. Alright, stuff like clothes, coffee, and makeup are not as important to me, which is good. By the way, if you like coffee, like going to Starbucks every day, then probably you need to cut that out immediately. That stuff will eat into your finances like I don't know what. If you want to make an extra $100 a month and you don't know how, cut out Starbucks completely. Make your coffee at home. Buy the stuff. Buy a Keurig. Do it. You'll thank yourself later. And it's a lot cheaper. And it's a lot better. Starbucks is kind of hit and miss, you know, depending on where you go in the city. Sometimes it's watered down. Other times I go, it's something. So I just make my own. Make my own coffee, save my money, invest it. That's what we're about. Alright, and let's see. So, I really still don't get an understanding of what exactly she had to cut out. It would have been nice if they had told us that, like showed us her budget, how much she spends on rent, how much she spends on different, her bills, you know. And tells us how she saved money. It still doesn't really say that. So I don't know, but I'm very you know pleased with this article. I think she did a great job. You know, I just wish that it would have went more into detail as to how exactly she did it. But it is what it is. You know, it's not anything you know too advanced. It's not rocket science. You don't need a Harvard MBA to understand finance if you just follow basic rules and you don't spend money like an idiot. Typically, if you don't do those things, you too can save up $100,000 in 3 years. This is Wayne Woodson, Richboywayne. If you want to hear more videos like this, go ahead and leave a comment in the leave a comment below. Send me a message if you want me to cover different articles like this. And I will see you guys in the next video. Wayne out.